For any leak test, test personnel must be qualified. A requirement is a certificate of qualification for gas vehicles. This certificate of qualification can be attained through a course with global training. We carry out a test on a B-Class. According to the ECE, a system is free from leaks if a porousness of less than 15 cubic centimeters per hour is present, or if the leak detection spray is bubble-free for 3 minutes. Carry out first a rough measurement with the electronic gas tester. In our case, an increased gas concentration is shown. However, it's still unclear if there's a leak or if different causes are possible, as for example a standing gas cloud. Before each precision measurement, the area to be measured should be cleared using compressed air. Do this thoroughly. This way you make sure that possible gas concentrations are removed at the point to be measured. Now you can begin with the precise measurement. In order to get a genuine measuring result, pay attention to the distance between the gas tester and the test item. Keep a distance of between 1 and 2 millimeters. With a value of less than 20 ppm, the measuring point has no leaks and it's not necessary to measure further. With a value of more than 20 ppm, the measuring point does not automatically have a leak, but a higher gas concentration was determined. Our value is clearly over 20 ppm. To examine more closely, use a leak detection spray. When the spray is applied, observe for 3 minutes. If no bubbles arise in this time, then the measured place has no leaks. However, if bubbles should arise, as in our case, then you can assume that there is a leak present. How do you recognize a leak? Here is another more extreme example, using a leak on a high-pressure line as an example. With the bubbles you can see clearly that a leak is present. Back to our not-so-extreme example. With us, the connection of the high-pressure line is leaking. We repair the damage by tightening the connection with an open-end wrench. With leak detection spray, we examine the place again. Within 3 minutes, no bubbles have formed, which informs us that the leak is repaired. The leak test is only then final if the gas components were examined with a pressure of more than 160 bar, 100 bar and 10 bar. For the leak test of the pressure control valve, you must consider these rules. A basic requirement of the measurement is a coolant temperature of 80 degrees C. Important. Measurements with the electronic gas tester are not permitted at either the 3 holes in the spring tower or the pressure relief valve. In these places, it is possible for permeation clouds to exist, which would lead to a false reading. In these places, it's only permitted to use leak detection spray for the leak test. To measure the pressure control valve and the 3 holes of the spring tower, use some suitable tape. The surface of the tape should be smooth. Another important tip. After the measurement, the tape must be directly removed. Otherwise, the pressure control valve cannot function properly. Also here, clear the area to be measured using compressed air. To do this thoroughly, it takes around 10 seconds. Now use the electronic gas tester. At the pressure control valve, there are 2 checkpoints for the leak test. The first is at the connection of the shutoff valve, SOV, and the second around the threads of the spring tower. For the leak test at the 3 holes of the spring tower and the pressure control valve, only leak detection spray is allowed. Make a hole in the tape before applying the spray. By doing so, you prevent a seeping of the liquid. Look out for bubbles. As mentioned before, it must remain without bubbles for 3 minutes.